Hello and welcome to the PowerFish podcast. I'm Fish.
And I'm Ben. Today we talked about that the iPhone 16 and iOS 18 is why we think it's the best hardware and software combo that Apple has put out yet.
Yeah.
We also talked about if you should be pirating Nintendo games or just games in general, but a lot of it was Nintendo.
Yeah.
And I think yes. Moving on. Lastly, we talked quite a bit about the FTC cracking down on predatory subscriptions. That whole
Hell
thing
yeah.
where you can't cancel them, and if you sign up for a free trial, it auto renews and crap like that. That's going away for good. You're gonna learn about that. It's gonna be great. Let's get into it. So you were talking about how you needed to RMA your Galaxy Buds.
Yeah.
Or screwing. I thought this was, to be honest, when you first said, so your problem was, what was it? The right was way quieter than the left?
Yeah. That's exactly what the problem was. I had to have my balance. So, you know, in the software, you can move the balance on one side or the other. I had to have my balance almost like most of the way to the right side just to make them sound balanced. It was wild.
When you first mentioned that, I thought this was like user error somehow. Because I don't know. Just because I thought maybe he's got a bunch of wax in one ear. I thought that because that's actually has been a problem for me before. In my left ear, there used to be an unbelievable like mountain of buildup of earwax that did actually affect audio volumes going in left and right.
That's
so I applied my problems to you.
Yeah. Who's the dumb one now? Was it you all along?
Once you showed me the fader, the balance, was like, yeah, okay, that's definitely an earbud problem. But so you got Galaxy Buds. I probably 5-6 months ago, maybe not that long, a few months ago.
Something like that. Yeah.
I also got Galaxy Buds because I had some Sony WF-1000 XM4s.
Yeah.
And those were some of the best earbuds I had, but I had them for probably 2.5, maybe 3 years. And especially after starting at FedEx, they were getting 6 to 8 hours of use every day.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one.
So the battery, not only were they already a couple years old, but with way, way more use than the average individual. So the battery was degrading to the point of near unusability. So I got some Galaxy Buds as well. And I just got them back from an RMA.
Interesting.
Because when I would put my bud in the case and it sucks it up, like a magnet.
Yeah.
Because it is a magnet. It would do that. And it would recognize it was in the case, but the bud would not charge. I had to really shove it in there to get it to charge. And even then, when I lifted off the weight, it would stop charging.
Odd.
So the cradle was seated too high in the case to where the two contact pads that contact the bottom of the stem weren't touching it. So when you put the earbud in the cradle, it wasn't seated low enough to touch the contact pins. So it was not charging. But yeah, so I RMA'd it and I got them back the other day and they're working now. But I tell you, these things are, aside from that problem, they're pretty great.
And which ones did you get?
Galaxy Buds 3 Pros. Or Pro 3s.
I've heard those are really good.
I know, you know why? It's because they kind of just copied AirPods Pro 2s in a lot of different ways, except didn't lock them down when you use them on an Android.
Yeah, that would be counter.
Or an iPhone, for that matter. You can download the Galaxy Wear app for iPhones as well. Good job, Samsung.
Good job, Samsung.
Way to not be dickheads.
Yeah.
Like Apple with their locking down of stuff. Speaking of Apple, did you know that the 16s, Apple made Yeah, speaking of me just crapping on Apple, I'm gonna uncrap on them. The 16s, they released them. They're like the most repairable iPhones since like the 5 or something like that.
Huh.
They can actually be disassembled and the battery can be removed like easily and properly. And when they released the 16s, they put up guides on their website of like teardown instructions and teardown self-repair guides.
That's cool. That's
Bro, they went all out on repairability for these things this year. The 16s are such a huge turnaround for Apple. It's fantastic.
Is that more
DOJ really?
Yeah, I was supposed to say, is that more DOJ stuff?
Yeah, the DOJ really did some work. Yeah. iOS 18, I mean, we've said this in podcasts before. iOS 18 and iPhone 16s are the best software and hardware they've had in my opinion, several generations of iPhone.
Because you can sideload apps now, can't you?
Third-party app store support is a thing now too. So you can just download emulators.
Yeah.
iPhone, like iPads are some of the best emulators now with iOS 18. You can get full-on like emulate. You can play PS3 games on the fricks.
Jesus Christ.
iPhones are fantastic emulating devices now because you can have third-party app stores instead of only Apple-approved Apple App Store apps.
Dude, that's wild. It's wild to see the day. Because, like, when I switched to Android, it was just like, I want to do more with my phone, and I can't do anything. I want to do something. And I would make the switch. Right. And then now Apple's like, you know, kind of coming, now kind of being the cool kid on the block again.
Yeah, they're coming around.
It's like,
they're doing cool stuff. It's great.
I don't know. I stand by what I said before. It would take either or a monumental shift as far as like Apple becoming great and Android becoming bad for me to probably make a switch back over. But damn, are they closing the gap?
They're closing the gap. Yeah, I could see myself trying. I think when I tried the 13 when it came out, I tried Apple again just a little bit too soon.
Yeah.
I could see myself trying one in the near future again. But yeah, they're the cool kid on the block again. They're doing good stuff.
I'm still
kind of... camera control button is kind of worthless from what I've heard.
The action button or whatever.
No, there's an action button, which is a programmable button, just to a degree. You can't have it do anything you want, but you can have it do a lot. But there's now a camera control button on the opposite side of the phone, underneath the power switch. So if you hold the phone in landscape, it's like where here would be.
Oh.
You didn't know about this?
No. I don't honestly keep up with Apple news very much, but yeah.
They added so basically the only changes from the 15 to 16 was 15 Pros had this programmable action button.
Right.
Which replaced the mute switch. They brought that button to the 16s, the regular 16s. So now it's on all the 16 lineup rather than just the Pros. And also on the whole lineup, 16s and Pros, they added this camera control button. It's a button, but it's a capacitive touch sensor as well. So you know how in cameras, if you soft press it,
right,
it'll focus.
It does some
and then
shit,
hard press. Yeah. There's a soft press for focus or whatever, and there's a hard press for a shutter shot.
Yeah.
That they added that functionality into this button. There's a soft press of the button, and there's a hard press, and then there's a capacitor for it. So a capacitive touch sensor on it. So if you slide the button left and right, it'll do things like zoom in and out, or adjust exposure, or stuff. Just camera settings.
You know what? I kind of like that.
It sounds really cool.
I kind of like that.
It sounds really cool. Yeah.
Ooh, is it on both of them or just the Pro?
All of them. 16, 16 Plus, 16 Pro, 16 Pro Max. It's on all of them.
I don't use my camera enough to probably justify using that, but damn, is that dope.
It's cool. Here's the thing. I don't use my camera a lot either, but the last year or so, I've really been wanting to, because there's so many things in the last, I don't know, 8 to 10 years where I've had a smartphone that I use frequently. I've taken like maybe under 100 photos of just like stuff in life.
Yeah.
I never think to take it out and take a picture of something ever. Literally ever. It's never a thought. And there are so many things. Like, I don't want to be one of these people that's holding their phone up at a concert.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to, like, I'm trying to be there for the concert, not be there to record it and remember it on my phone. But
right.
There are a lot of points where I regretted not taking a photo of something. So like, I'm trying to be more cognizant of just whip it out, take a frickin' pic and just put it back in. Like, it doesn't have to take over the experience of what you're doing.
Right.
But
yeah, I just don't really take pictures of moments. I don't know. I just
me neither. And I'm trying to do it more.
I don't know if I honestly care enough to try. I could see the value, I think, but I don't know. I just don't know if that's a thing that I would do.
I would get the value is 5 years after I take them. That's where I would get the value.
What kind of a situation do you think you would want to remember fondly?
That's I don't know. That's a huge question. Dude, like, if you're just going through your phone, old photos, and you take a picture.
You know what? Side tangent. Let me just prove your point and disprove mine real quick. Right quick. So it's a collection of pictures, but that pops up on my phone very seemingly regularly. It's the time you and I went to Eagles Crossing, the disc golf course. I took, I guess I took a handful of like pictures and videos while we were there. And there was like a video of us,
it's a good place.
Like, you know, like you were sitting on top of the little crocodile statue and shit.
Yeah.
And like I zoomed in on the little, I don't remember what hole that was on, but the Buddha statue out in the creek. Like that.
Yeah.
So like I have all those pictures, and that pops up, and I'm always just like, we should go back there. I don't want to pay $40 to get in, but I want to go back.
Well, they built about a year ago. I think it was. I think it was about a year ago. I think 2 summers ago. They built a new course on the property.
Right.
It's like we haven't played that yet. We ought to check it out.
Right.
One of these days.
But yeah, that pops up on my like timeline stuff very
One that
frequently.
pops up for me often is when we played Bob Mays in like -25 or whatever it was, wind chill weather.
You took pictures and videos of that?
Or two videos, yeah. I took a selfie when we were walking down hole like 13 or something like that.
Yeah.
And just showcased that my eyebrows had completely frozen over and I had like icicles on my eyelashes and my mustache and stuff. Basically the hair was all frozen solid.
Yeah.
I took a selfie of us walking down, you know.
For those listening, the context, I mean, you probably picked up on the context, but yeah, we went out to play Frisbee golf on the actual coldest day of the year that year.
It set a record. It wasn't just that year. It was multiple years prior.
Yeah. And it was it was very, very cold. And then people were asking, why would you do that? And the answer to that question, the honest to God answer, is to say that we did.
Exactly. To say that we did it.
Not only to say that we did it, but to know in ourselves that we did it and that we could do it.
Yeah. To know that we could do something like that and not be bitches.
To verify for ourselves that we are in fact that dumb. Is really how it goes.
Yeah. And you know what? To this day, I'm glad that we did it.
Yeah.
So
it sucked.
It sucked. Yeah, it was bad, but we did it.
We did it. And we're dumb for it. But yeah, so like I guess stuff does pop up on my
so stuff like that is what I want to be more cognizant of. And because I look back at that and I'm glad I took a selfie, two selfie videos of it, and I'm glad that I did.
You know what's another one that pops up for me? When we went to another disc golf related topic, when we went to Ledgestone in Peoria.
Oh my gosh.
There's a video on my phone of me filming. For anybody listening that doesn't know the sport, this is going to sound like a nothing. But it was the current world champion at that moment, James Conrad, walking down a fairway, and I was taking a video, and then I just hear you in the background going, "Oh my god, oh 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 my god."
Oh shoot. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, shoot. Those disc golf pros at the time were like, those were our idols at the time. Those are the people we watched every week.
Yeah.
Compete, stuff like that. Yeah.
It helps that they're most of the time giants of people anyway. So they
my gosh, disc golfers are huge. They're huge. Eagle McMahon is like, and Rick and Calvin Heimberg.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. They're all
now
lots
when we say
6 foot.
I would say when we say big, we specifically don't mean bulky. They're really skinny and lanky. But
yeah, exactly. They're really tall and don't weigh very much, most of them, which is specifically wingspan. That's the kind of build you want for a disc golf pro.
Exactly.
Allows you to really whip the hunk of plastic quicker.
So I suppose there's value. I suppose there's value to recording moments, but I guess
and just being able to, because the camera control button, you can't customize it or bind it to something different. When you press it in, it will boot up the camera no matter what screen you're on. So you whip it out, press it.
That's pretty handy. Because I do cool. There are some times where I do think I should take a picture of this, and then I'm fiddling with my phone trying to get the camera out, and then by the time the moment's gone. That does happen
sometimes.
That
I have mine, I think, bound to double clicking power. I think. I never remember that though. I don't do it enough to remember it.
I have so many shortcuts and gestures on my phone that I just forget are there. My phone is incredibly well optimized for me, but I forget how I optimized it.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That's so. But the thing is, the general consensus is that it's kind of useless. The camera control button. So most people just never find themselves using it.
If it were to be on my phone, I think I would probably never use it. To be honest,
I don't know if I would or not. I think I would use it to boot up the camera. I don't know if I'd use it for the zoom and the clicking to take a button.
Right.
The controls part. I'd probably just use it as a camera button, really. That would be about it.
That could be handy. Most of the pictures I take are in portrait, which is the wrong way to take a picture, but
well, if it's in portrait, it's where your thumb rests. If you're holding it like this.
Oh, so yeah, and
if it's in landscape, it's where your index finger is.
Okay. Yeah. So that's fair. I don't know. Very cool.
It seems cool.
Good innovation.
Yeah, it seems really cool.
I like it. And I like that it's I like the this. For the audio listeners, I'm moving my finger back and forth because I don't remember what you called that. But
the capacitive button,
yeah,
the capacitive sensor on it.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
That is pretty cool. It's like having a fingerprint sensor on your power switch. I don't think enough phones did that because I thought that was so cool. I liked it.
I think in screen is, practically, I think probably better. But
I think on the back is the best.
You think? Because I guess granted, your hand is always going to have to be on the back of the phone if you're using it. But
I have the phone sitting on my dresser that I used to use has a sensor on the back, and I think older Pixels used to have it on the back. I think it's unlocked before I look at it every time when I pull it out of my pocket because when I grab it, you have the muscle memory of where it's at. So you just take it out of your pocket with your finger on the sensor and it's unlocked and at the home screen before it even gets to your eyes. There's no other unlock method that's faster than that.
Yeah.
There just simply isn't. But it doesn't look very good.
The faster unlock method is Maybe Face ID, like a well done Face ID.
So like a Face ID with a really wide view.
Yeah, or just like honestly Apple's, I would say, because like the one on my phone, it does really well. I still usually have to put on my fingerprint because it might not quite catch it. But I remember on the 13 when I had it, I just literally turn up my phone and it's unlocked immediately.
But the thing is, Apple, it's absolutely not faster. Not only one is because the phone is unlocked and at the home screen as I'm pulling it out of my pocket. Face ID can't do that fast. Like it's unlocked in my pocket. Like Face ID can't do that. Second of all, specifically Apple's Face ID, even though in terms of recognition speed and accuracy, it's head over heels the best. There is no option still to this day, even with iOS 18, there is no option to have it automatically go into the home screen when it recognizes a face.
That's wild to me.
Which is insane. There is no there to unlock the phone, there has to be a swipe of the finger. Whether it's before it sees your face or after, there has to be the swipe of the finger.
Yeah,
crazy.
That just brings back memories of working in cell phones and like the old. They'll they would get
the old,
They would get a new phone and then I would be explaining what Face ID is and then they'd be like, "Oh, okay, so it's going to see my face." And I'd be like, "Yeah, so here, let it see your face." And they would unlock the phone and they'd be like, "What now?" I'd be like, "You got to slide up." They'd be like, they just wouldn't get it. Moral of the story, they don't get it.
Which is crazy because iPhones are supposed to be the simple, give it to your grandma and she'll understand it.
I found a lot, not to talk about phones too long, but I there was a lot of people that came in with Androids who would say, "I never want to switch to an iPhone, they're too difficult."
I kind of heard, I got that too. But here's the thing. I would say the ratio of people that would switch from iPhones to Android to people that wouldn't switch from Android to iPhone is greater. And the people that had Android that do switch to iPhone, I feel like would transition easier than vice versa, the iPhone users to Android. Even though if someone says that I don't want to switch to an iPhone because it's too difficult, what that tells me is that they don't understand iOS and have never used it.
Right. That's fair.
Too difficult means I haven't used it before and don't recognize the interface. But if these people switched to iOS, I feel like they would have an easier time than people in reverse, switching from iOS that don't know Android, to switching to Android.
Right. Because while I don't think Android is honestly all that difficult, in the sense that if you just get an Android phone out of the box and like let's say it's a Samsung and you boot into One UI, it's a pretty not that difficult experience, I would say, for most people. But the thing of like on Android there's more that can go wrong, that is true. Maybe not anymore with the side loading apps, I don't know. But I mean, there are more ways to frick up your phone with an Android, I would say, at least historically.
Yeah, of the people that came into the store with slowdown and bloat, the majority of them were Androids.
Right.
For sure. The people that had six calculator apps and 3 weather apps and a flashlight app and, the usual. That didn't really happen on an iPhone. And a big reason of that is because you could only go through Apple's app store, and getting an app approved, for that was a process.
Right.
You couldn't just throw any old app up there like you can with Android.
On the topic of people not understanding how to use technology, I got my haircut today. See? Short. Side note, I apologize for all the episodes where I every 5 seconds have to push my hair out of my eyes, and I'm flailing around like an idiot because I can't keep my hair out of my eyes. Fun fact, I hadn't cut my hair. What's today? The 17th. Today, as of recording, is
December.
Is not December 17th.
December yet. It's October.
Today is October 17th. I had not cut my hair since April 25th. That's
a long time.
That's kind of, to me, and for my hair, that's kind of crazy. That's just a side note. But I was in the chair getting my hair cut, and this guy calls the hair place, not a barber, hair salon. I go to Sport Clips. They call it the Sport Clips.
I mean, they're like a chain barber shop.
Is that like, I don't know. I didn't want to call it a hair salon because that doesn't seem right. But barber also didn't feel right to me. I don't know.
It's a barber shop, but it's not like a typical barber shop that you would think of when you think of a barber shop. I think it's a chain barber.
Yeah.
It's like it's low quality barber shop.
There you go, low quality. You heard it here first. But anyway, so a guy calls in and the stylist answers the phone, and he's asking about wait times or whatever. And she's like, it's going to be an hour-long wait because that's how it always is there. And then she goes, well, you could check in online. And he goes on the phone, I know this is what he said because she told the entire room what he said. He said, he said, I don't know how to do that. And she was just like, oh, well, I guess you can come in and we can show you how to do it. And he was just like, I guess that's what I'll have to do, and hung up. And I guess he was going to come in to learn how to check into the appointment place online.
I'm pretty sure if you go to their website, just at the top, there's a button that says check in online.
Yeah.
It's as simple as just going to their website.
It literally couldn't be easier. Every time I do it, it's just you go on. I have their app, but you just go on and you're just like, that's my name. That's the place I want to be at. And they go, it's going to be 55 minutes or an hour or whatever. And then you're like, okay. And they're like, okay, show up a little bit early. You're like, okay. But this lady was not having it though. This lady that answered the phone, she was not having it. She got off the phone and she turned to everybody. She's just like, yeah, you could tell he didn't try very hard.
I mean, he didn't. Some people are just lazy, bro. It's like, what is that? What is that with people being like allergic to learning information or allergic to diving into something that they don't know with the intention to figure it out? What is that? Is that just the aversion to effort? Laziness? Is it just laziness?
Laziness, also known as the aversion to effort. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
It's either laziness or the fear of being bad at something, or being the one that doesn't know how to do things. I would say
that's a common thing.
Let me give you an example. I have a dear friend. I have a dear friend. I have a dear friend. It's oh.
I don't want to look at me twice. Where'd your camera go?
I knew it was going to happen.
Technical difficulties. We'll be back.
What was I talking about? Right, dear friend.
You got a dear friend. Continue.
I got a dear friend. It's her birthday today, actually. Happy birthday, dear friend. And we have been playing together Halo Infinite lately.
Remind me, I've got some fantastic news about Halo. When you're
I know what you're going to say about Halo, but we'll get there. And it is fantastic news. So she didn't want to play Halo Infinite because it's a shooter and shooters are hard, and she was going to be bad at a shooter, so she didn't want to play. So I was like, listen to me right now. Get real close. It's free to play. Just try it. Just try it. It's fun. It's a good time. And she was like, okay, all right, I'll try it. Yeah, exactly. That's what she said. And so we tried it. She loves it. We play it like several times a week. She loves the game. And then now she's been kind of incorporated into another one of my gaming friend groups. And we've all been playing Halo together. And we love it. It's great. Good time. And so I said, for the sake of variety, why don't we try another game, another shooter, like, I don't know, Fortnite or Overwatch or any shooter, or a paid one. We play some Black Ops, whatever, doesn't matter. And she was like, I don't want to do that. And I said, why? She said, well, because it's a shooter. And I said,
what are we playing now?
I was like, we're literally at the moment playing Halo Infinite, which is a shooter. Why are you so averse to playing something else? And she didn't say it directly, but I really got the impression it was just like, I'm gonna be bad at it, and I don't want to be bad at it, so I'm just never gonna do it. Which, in my opinion, if you purposefully never do something, that equals you're bad at it. I'm just gonna say.
I would say playing it and being bad is a lot better than never playing it in the first place.
Right.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I can somewhat understand that thought process, but I certainly cannot relate. I think it's stupid. I think not wanting to do something recreational for fun because you're going to be bad at it is absolutely stupid.
Right.
I get that it's a social thing. They think they're going to be judged by others for their performance, which is 100% an internal problem.
Right.
Like, no, it's a recreational activity for fun. It's video games, for crimini's sake. We're not playing comp.
For crimini's sake, what are we doing? Yeah, no, I tell her that all the time because she said, like, well, I'm going to be bad at it, and maybe the friends that we play with now are going to be judgmental. And I'm like, nobody gives a fuck. It's video games.
Nobody cares. Yeah, nobody cares. And if they do, they're a piece of shit.
Yeah, I said that too. Like, if this was the kind of person that, like, a new person to a game they like joins the game and they're bad at it because they're new at it, and then they shit on them, like, I wouldn't want to play games with that person anyway.
Yeah, and you shouldn't be playing with them anyway.
Exactly. Well, side tangent over. Happy birthday, dear friend.
Happy birthday, dear friend that is thinking stupid. Yeah, but on the topic of Halo, the next Halo coming to Unreal Engine 5.
Yup.
This is so exciting.
Yeah.
I'm so ready for this. Halo's been using its own engine for, like, I don't know, the last, basically, I think since 343 took it from Bungie.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically every game that's been made in Unreal, so far, Unreal Engine 5 specifically, so far has been a visual masterpiece.
Yeah.
So
it's what I showed you that video of that car on fire.
Dude, it's photorealistic, but in a video.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah, Unreal Engine 5's
insane.
like assets are just so detailed. It's awesome.
I'm very curious. Really, I'm very curious how that's going to go down. I was talking to DoorDash guy about this, actually. Side tangent about DoorDash guy. He saw the things.
He always comes back. All roads lead to DoorDash guy.
Yeah, he found out that he's been mentioned. And he says hello. He was cool with it. Yeah, good on DoorDash guy for not being offended. We love you. Good guy. Anyway, so I was talking to him about it, and he was asking me how I felt about this move to Unreal Engine 5. And my first thought, before I really put much thought into it, my initial reaction was like, is it gonna feel like Halo? Is it gonna feel different? Am I gonna not like the way it feels? Because it's bound to be different.
Right, and it's going to be different.
Right. But then I had this realization that I've been loving Halo Infinite. And down to its core, Halo Infinite is a very different experience from, like, every other Halo that's ever come out.
Halo is Halo from, like, especially the older Halos, like 3, which is one of the best, and like Reach.
And now I would say, and this is a shocking thing to say, but because of how much time and effort I've put into Halo Infinite, I don't know if I could imagine a competitive Halo that didn't have the movement system of Infinite. It's just so well done. It's very very modern.
It's fun.
It's fun.
So fun.
It's modern. It's punchy. It's snappy. It's everything about it. I'm not saying it's a perfect game because it's got some bugs and some balance issues, but man, does at the very least the movement system feel so good. And that's like that. It doesn't feel like Halo. That whole system.
No, it really, to the core of Halo, the Halo of old, it kind of just doesn't feel the same. So I think the first move to more fast-paced, sort of modernizing the movement of Halo started with Halo 4, I think.
Right. I played a little bit of Halo 4.
Yeah, that was the first one where they actually added just straight up a sprint.
Right.
Which was never in Reach. There was a sprint, but it was a suit ability. So that was kind of the introduction of it, but it didn't really affect like the day-to-day gameplay of it because most people use different suit abilities anyway. But yeah, I think they really started changing things up with 4. And you know what? I think it's for the better. I like the changes. A lot of people don't. Honestly, Halo Infinite it's kind of like in a Battlefield 2042 situation.
Right.
Most people don't actually like it that much, but I freaking love it.
I have a good time with it.
Yeah. Same thing with Battlefield 2042. It's one of my favorite Battlefields. There's obviously ones that I like more, like 3 and 4. 1, obviously. 1 is one of the best. I didn't really like 5 that much. Hardline was one of my favorites, which was a pretty hated one. But I think a lot of people like it now.
Right.
Yeah, you know, there's Battlefields I like more, but 2042 is still, I love it. It's so much fun.
I think it's a great game.
Yeah, I think it fits I think it stays true to somewhat, maybe not so much with the class system and like the different characters and different abilities that come with the different characters. But everything else, I feel like, is very true to Battlefield.
Right.
And I will also say that was not the case when it launched. I thought it was a dumpster fire when it launched. After about season 5, I think it's been really, really fun.
Right. So that goes to show that just because a game changes doesn't mean it's bad. And that was my once I thought about it, my answer to DoorDash guy, to his question about what do I think about this change to Unreal Engine 5, and the answer was, you know what, I fail to think of a way that this could be a bad move, and even if it's different,
embracing it fully.
If different in this case is probably going to equal better, and that's Halo for you.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the Unreal Engine to come in. Have you seen, I don't know if you know this game, Hellblade.
I know of it.
There's the first one, there's 2 of them. The first one was in Unreal 4. The next one was made in Unreal 5. And I think that's like, Hellblade 2 is like the peak of graphical fidelity that we have right now. It's pun intended, it is unreal to look at.
He's Unreal Engine 5 right now.
In fact, Unreal Engine 5, yes, to look at. Yeah, it's Hellblade 2, Senua's Sacrifice, crazy fidelity, crazy detailed assets. The animations of like the enemies and the attacks, it's just so good. It's so good. It looks wild.
Jeez. Yeah, I'm looking at pictures. I'm just seeing a bunch of pictures of people, but you know, there are some of these pictures that if you just told me that's a real person, I'd believe you.
Yeah. But you know, Steam, I think they put out a thing recently going along with all the other game companies saying that having a license for a game is not owning a game.
Oh my God, I did see that and it made me so upset.
It's saying,
I mean, granted,
so sad.
That was already a thing within their verbiage, but like obviously since they do digital licenses.
Yeah. So buying is not. Hey, I'm sure you've seen this before. If buying isn't owning, piracy ain't theft.
Yeah. And I would never pirate. Even though literally right before we started recording, we were talking about piracy.
Yeah.
Oh, I kid.
Yeah, no. I don't pirate games 99% of the time. But kind of, it depends on if we're talking about games or software. But I'm kind of, as the days go on, more and more in support of piracy.
Let me gather your opinions here for a moment. Let me put them in a basket, gather them up. So I have been very much interested in the emulation scene for probably a couple months now, several months. Kind of getting more and more into emulation as a concept and emulation as a form of entertainment in absence of original hardware. So there's been some shuffling, not some shuffling, some rustling in the emulation community revolving around Nintendo and them silencing not only platforms but creators revolving around not specifically, but a lot of the times Switch emulation as a concept. And a lot of the times people go, Nintendo should leave emulation alone, just leave them alone. But a lot of the clapback to that, even from emulation supporters, is the Switch as something to emulate should be stopped by Nintendo because it's current generation. What do you think about that? Do you think that, first of all, what do you think about piracy in general? And what of their intellectual property should they be pursuing to take down if it was your decision?
Well, there was that recent thing of them suing Pal World, even though Pal World, I don't know. So just to premise this, I am fully aware of how idiotic some of Nintendo's legal pursuits are.
Right.
In my opinion. This Pal World one being one of them. But, like, Nintendo in the past has literally taken down YouTube videos showing Nintendo content.
Right.
And they don't allow LAN parties with Nintendo games. Unless it is officially, licensed, supported, whatever, by Nintendo. It's just absolutely just asinine stuff. But I think I would completely agree. I don't think the Switch, given that it is currently a console holding so many exclusives and is current gen and still being sold.
That's kind of what Nintendo is built on, is exclusives.
Yeah.
Yes, the Switch has third-party stuff, but like if you're getting a Switch, you're getting it almost exclusively for the exclusives. Exclusively exclusives.
Yeah, in part, at least, to get some of the you might, maybe you want to play Doom and stuff on it too, but
unless
100%.
Unless you don't want like a Windows-based handheld and you want like Switch ports to be portable, I could see that.
Right.
But
yeah, I don't see, there's still so much value for a lot of people buying a Switch right now.
Yeah.
There is next to no value for somebody to buy a PlayStation 2 right now.
I don't know. The PS2 was sick.
PS2 was sick. Yeah.
I have a PS2 somewhere. Part of me wants to break it out, just put it on my desk somewhere.
But it's a dead platform with dead servers that isn't supported. The Switch is still very much alive with sales and everything to go with it.
So that's kind of where my opinion lies. So part of the rustling in the community that I mentioned was actually what you mentioned earlier with like YouTube videos getting taken down for just simply showing Nintendo gameplay. That what happened. It didn't get taken down, but it got copyright strucketh and demonetized or whatever. So that's kind of where a lot of this conversation started. And then a lot of opinions have come out, and I think I agree with one. I think that the Switch being emulated, that kind of deserves to be taken down. You can't really get around it.
Yeah.
But what if I want to go and I want to emulate, let's say, a DS or a Game Boy or an N64? What says you to that?
I think you can. That same argument as PlayStation 2. It's a dead platform with dead servers that isn't supported anymore.
Well, now. Nintendo has the Nintendo Online subscription service. And within that service, you can play retro Nintendo titles. So really, and this is the way their lawyers would argue it and probably have argued it, by emulating, let's say, an N64, you're taking money out of Nintendo's pocket because you are denying them, in essence, a Nintendo Online subscription.
So this online subscription gives you access to these old games.
Right.
To play on what?
The Switch.
Making the Switch an even greater selling point. Well,
Right.
So this is in essence if Xbox decided to let you play the entire library of Xbox 360 and Xbox One games on your Series X.
And they should
with a subscription.
That would be cool. But
which would be super cool.
Yeah.
So if they were to do that, would I then say, no, you shouldn't emulate Crash Bandicoot?
Right.
That one's definitely more murky for sure.
Right.
I'm a person that says if you're never going to buy the game anyway, then you're not denying them anything by pirating.
Maybe.
Well, it wouldn't be that would just straight up be the case. If you're never going to pay money for this, if it's either I'm not playing it if I have to pay money for it, or I pirate it, then no, the company's not losing anything.
So let's say you and yourself wants to play. I can't even think of a good example. I don't know. The original Donkey Kong Country series, which I happen to know is on Nintendo Online. You're sitting there saying, man, I want to play that game. And you have two options. Go to the store, buy a Switch, and then pay $20 a year to access the service. Or pull out your phone or your computer and go to romsgames.com and download a file.
Yeah, that's obvious because I'm doing my own argument here. I would never in a million years go buy.
Hypothetically, I'm just saying you want to play those games. Let's just say you want to play them.
I would pirate them, 100%.
Okay,
I would emulate them.
So you're 100%. saying your ideal scenario you wouldn't follow in that situation because you. So okay,
I would because I would never spend that money anyway. The company's not losing anything. I would never spend that money anyway.
Okay,
I'm agreeing with my viewpoint of it.
I guess I see what you're saying.
And that barrier is only even bigger because you have to buy a Switch too. Switch as well.
But what's stopping me? Granted, none of this is legislative. We are not legislators. But
none of this is advice in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, let's get that out. Nintendo, don't sue me. I'm not saying anybody should pirate anything ever for any reason whatsoever. This is
all hypothetical.
As a matter of fact, we're not even here. You're not even listening to this right now.
Yeah,
this is not. Anyway, I don't even remember what I was going to say. I got so afraid of being sued out of existence. I don't even remember what I was talking about.
Nintendo's shadow wiped your memory as it swooped across.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But yeah, no, absolutely. I would 100% pirate that. I would never spend money for even if it's a newer game. I would never like something for like if it wasn't that old, like I don't know, like a Wii U. I don't think or even a Wii. I don't think I would ever spend that money. Yeah. But if I wanted, I'm not gonna pirate it or emulate it because I don't really care. But if I for some reason really wanted to play these games and I was going to play it and my option was a couple $100 and a monthly subscription or pirate it, I would pirate it 100%.
So what's stopping me as an individual from following your advice, the advice they heard on the PowerFish podcast that they're taking to heart? What's stopping me from saying,
this is not advice?
It's stopping me from going on the Steam store, let's say, and being like, looking at let's give you a good example, Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero, right? And then saying, I don't want to spend $70. I would never spend $70 and then go pirate it, even though maybe I would have.
If I do that and enjoy the game, yeah, I'm going to buy it. Even if I pirate it and play it and realize I'm just now I'm just playing the game, like to progress and do stuff, and I keep coming back to it, I'm going to buy the game. I am fully in support of buying your stuff, even though buying isn't owning, I fucking guess. But
well, I thought if buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't theft.
It's not.
Okay.
I'm still in support of supporting the people that make the stuff, though.
And I am too. I'm just playing devil's advocate here because I think it's an interesting conversation about when does it become stealing when it comes to especially retro platforms, and where is the line? Because it seems to be with Nintendo, the line is if you don't give me money, you should be in prison forever.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like that should be the way it is. But I am also not smart enough to know what the solution is.
I am not saying I am not on either side. I'm not on Nintendo's side of if you are playing Smash Bros. And someone walks behind you and even looks at the game, you're going to jail. I'm not on that side, but I'm also not on the side of I don't want to pay for games. I'm going to pirate everything.
Right.
I am more on the side of paying for everything.
Fair.
I would say in most scenarios, you should pay, especially if it's like, holy cow, like Lethal Company. If it's a situation like that,
like an indie developer,
just buy the freaking game, dude.
Or you mean like if it's cheap enough too?
Both.
Yeah.
Indie developer, and if it's like $10, just buy the game.
Right.
Just buy the freaking game.
I feel that way too. I've been known to, splurge, get on indie titles and things. I do enjoy indie titles. I told you earlier, like usually I'll just buy it. Every now and then I'll like sideload an APK on my phone or something just to try out an app just to see if I actually am going to like it. And then especially if it's an indie developer, then I'll be like, just buy it for real. Even though it doesn't mean
phone apps are the same thing, honestly. There was an old app that I used to use called Volume Scheduler Pro that had a pro and non-pro version, and I siloed the pro version because I didn't even know if it was something I would use or like, and I did, and I eventually ended up buying it because, I think you should buy the stuff that you use.
Yeah, even though you don't own
the people that make them. Yeah, even though, well, I can't even begin to guess on what that situation is on like a phone's app store, but at least when it comes to games, buying is not owning.
I have a feeling that it's probably very similar. You're
buying a license.
Your license could be revoked at any time. I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, as far as fine print on things go, fine print is generally predatory. You know what's funny to me? I find this hilarious. I talk about my job somewhat frequently, so I shouldn't do that. But I'm going to talk about my job anyway. Literally in our fine print. So we have like advertisements on things. you have like an advertised price, and then like it gets discounted. It literally says, verbatim in the fine print, products may never been sold at the price that it says they were sold at. It literally says that. So like if it says this thing costs you $5,000, but hey, for you only today, it's going to be $2,500. It might have never sold one time at $5,000.
I think that's a pretty.
That's totally common. I'm not saying that's unique to where I work, but as a concept, I find that wild.
Isn't that? I think companies used to do that always, and then it became illegal, undisclosed. So now it is disclosed, but tinily.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's.
Yeah,
companies are scum. Really, companies are scum.
That's certainly not unique to the situation I'm talking about, but just as a concept, I find it wild that you can just kind of lie, you know? Because, I mean, I would say that that's lying, wouldn't you?
I mean, what I think is bad is, so, like, a lot of companies do this during Black Friday, and Amazon does it for its Prime days that it does twice a year. And it's the raising of prices, a week, 2 weeks before these big sale days, and then dropping them back down to what they were for the big sale days.
That shit's wild.
That's so like you're not actually getting any sales. Tons of companies do that.
I thought that was actually illegal.
What?
I thought that was like actually illegal. Like for real.
I don't think so.
I thought like there had to be a certain amount of time raised beforehand.
Before price changes?
Yeah.
Well, they might meet that threshold.
And then they just do that and then raise the price and then bring it back. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you and I were just the other day looking at the camel.
If you guys ever shop on Amazon, especially on Prime days, camel. The website to go to. It is a total price history tracking.
Website. Well, hell, I was looking at. I don't remember. I think it was speakers or whatever, like desktop speakers, and I was like, oh, these are on a really good sale. And then I looked, and they were like $20 off.
Yeah, 20. They were. Yeah, they showed on Amazon as like, what were they, like 50 or 100% off, like half off or something?
They were 100% off. No, I don't remember. It was. They were a lot off. I don't remember. It was like a significant discount, and I was just like, "Holy shit! Like this is great." No,
it was like $100 less than what it showed that they were, and then you go to camel, and it was like $20 less than what they have previously always sold for.
Right?
Like, oh my god, that's how they get you. That's how you get got.
Yeah,
most people don't. You and I had this kind of like low level argument in the car. You think people do research, and they don't.
They should.
I
redact my. I don't retract. I redact it. Sponge it from the record. Expunge it even.
Eliminate it altogether.
I think people don't do research, but I stand by the fact that they absolutely freaking should.
They absolutely should. Yes. But I'm telling you, the vast majority of shoppers don't do research on products or prices.
Well, you know what? If they're too stupid, then maybe they deserve to get hit with a stupid tax.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the FTC recently on this whole like buying, not owning, and subscription stuff. So subscriptions in general are booming everywhere. And they're a pain in the ass to cancel. Dude.
Yeah.
Here's an article from today, October 17th. This comes from PC Mag, titled, "Finally, no more unwanted subscriptions. FTC's click to cancel rule finalized." Slated to take effect in 180 days, the new rule also tries to prevent sellers from charging for services simply because the user failed to take action, such as forcing payment after a free trial. So no free trials that require payment information rolling into a subscription, which is literally every free trial ever.
Right.
So here's another article about it from the Morning Brew. The days of crossing Middle Earth to end a gym membership are almost over. The FTC finalized a new rule yesterday that aims to make subscription-based services as easy to cancel as they are to sign up for. The rule, called Click to Cancel, cracks down on the subscription tricks and traps that take advantage of our free trial forgetfulness and impatience with lengthy customer service calls. FTC Chair Lena Khan says under the rule, online memberships should take the same number of clicks to cancel as they do to initiate. You need to be able to cancel via the same methods used for sign up. So in-person signups mean you can cancel in person. Online only signups mean you can cancel online only. No more to this online sign up. Now you have to go in person or call someone to cancel.
Right.
Fantastic.
That's great, honestly.
Yeah. For free trials, companies need to be clearer about their auto renewal policies and can't start charging customers without informed consent, which might just look like another box to check for at sign up. The protections kick in about 6 months, which means we could be free of Rocket Money's fake stand-up ads by spring. Let's see. The rule should make it easier for regulators to sue companies with slippery subscriptions like Planet Fitness and HelloFresh, which are often mentioned in complaints filed with the FTC.
That's hilarious because I specifically had an issue with Planet Fitness.
Dude, this is fantastic.
Yeah, dude. I paid for Planet Fitness for forever. For forever.
Yeah, I remember this.
Because I like, well, listen, so you sign up and then and you're like, hey, this is me, this is my info. I wanna go to your gym. That'd be awesome, please, thanks. And then they're like, bet, I'm gonna charge you first of all $50 up front and then $10 a month. So that sucked. But then so it's $10 a month, and I decided down the road, I was like, you know what, I want to cancel this. I don't want to exercise. Ew. So I'm trying to sign into my account, and they're just like, you don't exist. I'm like, motherfucker, I exist enough for you to charge me. Why? What do you mean I don't exist? So I look into this several times. I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know what the problem is here. So what had happened, I think, was they created me like a billing account, but not like a membership account. So I couldn't cancel my billing account. I couldn't cancel my billing account because I had a membership account. And so what I needed to do was create an account to cancel the other account, even though they were supposed to be disconnected, but they were connected.
So stupid.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I have also had some cancellation mishaps that I couldn't do. Another gym, Anytime Fitness.
Oh my God.
That's one that you can sign up for in person, but can't cancel unless you are in person.
Right.
Which I think 99% of the sign-ups there are in person anyway, because they give you like a fob to get in. But regardless, still beneficial. Yeah, this is fantastic. Dude, like my roommate, she it was a meal prep company. It was either HelloFresh or like Every Plate.
Mm-hmm.
One of those, but regardless, it actually might have been HelloFresh. Dude, there was like 8 weeks more boxes that we kept getting because we couldn't cancel the shit.
Jesus
Dude,
Christ.
this is amazing. And it's such a simple creative rule to fix such a terrible, terrible problem. Simply just whatever you do to sign up, make it the same to cancel. Simple as that. And it solves so much.
No, it's great. And it's great because, as we were talking about at the beginning of this episode, some people are maybe a little bit on the tech illiterate side. But if they signed up, they clearly know how to do that. do that again, basically. But it'll reverse the process. That's great. I think that's incredible. And I wish
good job, FTC.
I wish that was around whenever I had Planet Fitness before I canceled it.
Yeah, so they put this into place yesterday, and it should be, I don't know, I guess applied or whatever across in the next 6 months, 180 days.
Jeez.
So
they're rolling that shit out.
Yeah, they're pushing this hard.
Good.
So these companies don't have much time to develop these new cancellation processes, and holy cow, does the many thousands of subscriptions that this affects and companies that this affects is huge, absolutely huge.
Yeah,
but
you know what,
DOJ and FTC be going good.
You know what company that this won't affect because they're out of business now, but would have affected very heavily? To bring it back to DoorDash guy. So he worked for a company. I'll just name drop. He worked for FYE. You know, the store.
Yeah.
According to him, without going too far into specifics, they like legitimately intentionally had this incredibly easy to sign up literally at the register service that was intentionally pitched to not be a subscription, but was a charging subscription. And it was basically impossible to cancel.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I couldn't imagine. So yeah, I guess there was just like this, you know, in order to cancel, you got to call in, but either the calls took too long or you just like couldn't get through to anybody. You couldn't cancel in store, so that's not a thing. Like, yeah, it was just, you got to jump through all these hoops to get something canceled that you literally just, they would just be like, you want to sign. I guess the way they positioned it was like it was a newsletter, but then they just took your information down and then it was a charging subscription. It was like, I think it actually was like they would give you this mailer or like this mail-in thing. And then you would get like a packet or a magazine or something, but it would charge you for it and you couldn't cancel it.
Yeah. When I was first starting getting into the gym, shoot, a lot of years ago, I was really young. I started experimenting with like supplements and stuff like creatine and protein and different pre-workouts and like BCAAs and EAAs and all this stupid stuff that I didn't need. And one of them was a testosterone booster.
Interesting.
And I tried this. It was an online order, even more sketch for something like that. When you purchased it, it auto signed you up for a recurring subscription of it every 30 days. I got one bottle of it, tried it, didn't notice a difference because obviously I was a young teenager with plenty of testosterone, I'm sure, and testosterone pills don't actually do anything.
Right.
The levels of testosterone that they bump up by are like marginal at best, unnoticeable at best, I would say. But I digress. It auto signed you up for a 30-day recurring subscription. I got it, didn't notice anything after a couple weeks. I was like, I don't want another bottle of this because it was expensive. It was like $40 or something.
Jesus Christ.
So
God.
I try to figure out how to cancel. There was absolutely no way to cancel on their website. No even mention of canceling on their website. Nothing at all. You had to call their customer service number. And when I called them, I said I wanted to cancel. The amount of questions that they give you is insane. Like, why do you want to cancel? Would you instead pause it for a month so you can try again next month? How about instead, we can give you your next bottle half off. Would you instead like a different product of ours? How about 3 bottles instead? No, just so many questions.
Jeez.
The phone call took like 40 minutes of trying to cancel this thing. So I don't even remember what that company was. It was a stupid company selling a scam product for either old men that are susceptible to it or young teenager idiots like myself that are susceptible to it. Yeah. Stuff like that.
I've had situations like that as well. Or like where you call in and they have to like, it's like give them a reason, you know? I mean, you probably don't have to, but like, I'm sure they're required to cancel if you just say no, cancel it. But like, still, they want to like know and they want to talk you into like, I hate that. I had to cancel recently a subscription that I've had for many years. And I called in, I was going to give them some information about my account, and all that. And then they asked me, they did the thing, they point blank was just like, why do you want to cancel? And it threw me back for a minute. Cause I hadn't called in to cancel a subscription in a while. And I was just like, why do you need to know? I don't want it. Why is this a Q&A right now? Like,
I mean, I think the idea is gathering data to improve. You're gathering data to keep people from canceling.
Yeah, but you know that is like if you gave them a reason that they deemed quote unquote invalid, that they would try to pursue it and be like
if you said it's too expensive, they would hit you with the okay, you can have our next bottle half off, like that one stupid bitch did that.
Bitch.
Yeah. So
I don't like that. Is my point. Yuck.
Nobody does.
Yuck. No, me.
Neither did the FTC.
Me specifically didn't like that. So yuck.
Who was the FTC? Who was the head? Lisa Khan? Who was the head? Let me find this again.
I don't pay attention.
I bet you Lena Khan. I bet you Lena Khan, head of the FTC, she had a difficult experience canceling something probably a week ago. And she was like, nope, we're done with this.
That's how shut it down. That's how the government makes decisions. They like the entire nation is plagued by this problem, and then one higher up in the government is just like it happens to them, and they're just like, shut the shit down.
Get it down. We're done with this. Stop. I mean, if it's stuff like this, shoot, come on now. Could do more of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this is great. This is good. Apple's getting better. Sue them some more. Google's getting sued. This is great. Everything's great.
Nintendo's still getting worse.
Gaming getting worse.
Yeah.
And stuff like that's getting worse.
But hey, 2 of the 3 things we talked about were pretty positive. Hey.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's not bad for us. We usually talk about negative Nancy stuff like kids getting depressed and turning their brains to mush because of social media and stuff.
Yeah. That's us.
Anyway.
That's what we're known for.
Let's end this. This is going. We're over an hour in. It's about that time where we start hallucinating. Getting late. So we better end it before something stupid gets out. Thank you so much for watching and or listening. I do have So I wanted to try for a future episode. We ate some Carolina Reapers. We haven't done a episode where we've been talking about some Reddit stuff in a while. We should probably do that again. Expect some more of that.
It's good stuff.
Something real fun I've been wanting to do is we should do something with smelling salts.
Okay.
Yeah, we should same how we ate a Reaper and transitioned into a podcast. We need to be creative and think of something creative to do with smelling salts. Because the Reaper one performed pretty well. So, wow, big surprise. Extreme challenges perform well. Wow, surprising no one. So, smelling salts next. Expect to see something.
Yeah, let's workshop that. And if you have any ideas on how exactly we should implement that, let us know.
So, thank you, and we will see you next week.
See ya.